Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you a 2 vs 2 in Total War Attila. It's the vanilla game. This was a very fun battle that I played some time ago, and I was just going through my replays to see what I had uploaded and what I want to delete. And this battle came up, and it's not very long. It's about 6 minutes, so we'll definitely utilize some slow motion. And the reason that it's not that long is if you take a look at my formation here, it's aptly named as the Pictic ambush, and that is because I've actually selected an army with the Picts that can completely vanguard deploy around this Eastern Roman Empire. And you'll see in a second here just how effective that ambush is. And my ally is way up here in the standard deployment zone, so you can really see how much of a difference this makes. Because I think this is the closest you could get in the standard deployment zone, whereas with the Picts, I've completely surrounded them. I've got all of my cav in around the flanks as well. I've got my good axes kind of in the center, and I've got my Scottish teachers in the front. So let's take a look at the army compositions very quickly, starting with mine. So I've got 6 units of the Scottish teachers. They're a very small unit, only 80 in the unit, but they are deadly. And then I've got my general over here, the followers of Morrigan. And I believe this would be the general here with the circle shield. Looking very cool, and we'll just take a look at the Scottish teachers here. It's an all-female unit, which is really cool. And then I believe I have 7 units of these Pictish axemen, so they're only tier 2, but they've got some incredible melee stats. And in an ambush like this, to get them onto the flanks, it's going to be pretty deadly. So I've got 7 units of them. And then if we zoom over to here, I've got 6 units of the Mortimer cavalry. Now this is melee cavalry, but they're pretty much the best cavalry that the Picts could bring. Either that or you would get like some raider cavalry, because I don't think they have any shock cavalry at all. So that's pretty much my army. Let's go ahead and jump over to my ally's army way over here. He's playing as the Vandals. So we kind of overview of his army here. He's got his cavalry in front. He's got light Moorish cavalry, which is a tier 2 shock cav. Then he's got 2 units of Germanic pikes, 1 unit of Germanic band. Then he's got a lot of Vandal berserkers, pretty much all Vandal berserkers. Then he's got some Germanic nobles over here as well. So he's got a nice setup. You can see the light Moorish cavalry here. And then we've got the pikes in behind, and then we just got a ton of these berserkers. Again, very high melee attack. And then we've got the Germanic nobles there, and there is the noble himself, looking ready for battle. And let's go ahead and take a look at the Franks over on this flank. The Franks on the flank. So he's got 4 units of these Germanic spearmen. They're not spear masters, just spearmen. And then he's got noble Germanic swordsmen in the second line. And then he's got some Germanic archers. Here is his general, right here, the Frankish general. Which he's actually missing his cuirass. I don't know if that's a little glitch or something. But then if we zoom all the way over here, he's got 4 units of Tefali cavalry, or Tefali cavalry. And they look pretty sweet. They're melee cav, but they actually do have spears as well for charging. But they're tier 3. That's pretty much his force. And then if we take a look at the Eastern Roman Empire... Oh, he's got some Francisca Heerban over here as well. But moving on to the Eastern Roman Empire, he's got a lot of these cataphractory, which just look amazing. I'd love to see all of this cav with, you know, their lances up over their shoulder. Looks really cool. Then he's got a mix of ranged. He's got 1 unit of Funditores. He's got some Ballistariae for crossbows and some armored Sagittariae. Then he has 4 units of Eastern Auxilia Palatina, 4 units of Palatina, and he's got his general over here, the Palatina Guards. And there he is right there, all in purple, looking very awesome, very elite. And that is about everything. So without further ado, the battle obviously does start over on this flank. So let's begin. And we can keep it on play for now as we move forwards. You can see that these archers were about to fire, but the Eastern Roman Empire player is kind of thrown completely by surprise over here. You can see he's immediately activating all of his cav over onto the other flank. And he's basically pulling back all of his archers, which is really good for me, because now they're not firing at us at all, basically. So I'm pretty much going to be able to charge right into melee with no damage whatsoever. You can see he's got one unit over here that's kind of in all by itself. He's trying to slow my cavalry charges, but I'm just going to go around him. And here we go. I've kind of bunched a few units of cavalry in over here of Cataphractory. Looks like he's trying to support with these Palatina, but I get a semi-good charge into the side there. And then I basically just sent the rest of my cav in against his Palatina that wasn't yet formed up. You can see that he's trying to get a good kind of formation with his spears over here, but I'm catching a lot of his units before they can make it back in there. My Scathis teachers have already gone berserk. Let's go ahead and zoom down into the melee fight here. You can see that the Franks have actually sent over some of their units to help out. So it was good teamwork on their part. The Scathis teachers, I don't think they have very much... obviously, they don't have very much armor, but I think their melee defense is quite good. Yeah, look at these poor Eastern Roman soldiers that were kind of caught by my units. They're hopefully going to do some damage to them. Yeah, heads are rolling. So we're doing good there. My axes are coming in close behind. You can see that my ally is sending over one unit of his light Moorish cavalry, and we're already breaking these 2 units of Cataphractory, obviously, because they're completely outnumbered. But we're starting to engage his spear line over here. I'm surprised he wasn't more aggressive with his cav, though. He's got 5 units over here that are kind of just sitting here. A lot of my cavalry was tied up in this engagement. In fact, all of it. He could have gotten some really nice charges on a lot of my axes over here. But the Frankish player is kind of forming up against the Vandals, but the Vandals are more interested in kind of supporting me in this corner right here. This corner is going to be really key. Let's go ahead and jump into these axes as they rush forwards. Again, moving in against some of the Frankish soldiers. So again, some good support here by the Franks. He's got 2 lines of infantry here to kind of form the second part of the corner. And over the shoulder goes the Frank. Let's go ahead and jump out of there. And we'll put it back into play. My general's actually moving into the fight as well. And we've got some Pictish axemen coming over here as well. Charging into these Auxilia Palatina, actually knocking them back with the weight of their charge. So now it's spear versus axe, but these axes are definitely going to be able to tear these spears apart. And if you look down the line, too, you can see that some of the Cataphractory has been activated to move over here. And they're going to try to come after more of our cavalry. Actually, it looks like they're splitting off as well. But I've activated my Mortimer cavalry as well. We finally wrapped up that flank, so I'm pushing forwards with them. If we turn on the HUD just so you can see where we're all set up. The light Moorish cavalry actually broke the Tafali cavalry of the Franks, which is surprising. That's a tier 3 melee cav that was wrapped up by the light Moorish cavalry. But we're doing pretty well over here. Let's go ahead and put it on slow motion again. The battle is already almost over. You can see that we've broken the Palatina guards. I believe that the general, he is not dead yet, but he's going to be dead soon. Or maybe he just escapes, I'm not sure. I'm looking kind of for the purple cloak. But yeah, he is out of there. And over on this flank too, finally the Vandal Berserkers getting in to the mix. There's the general dead as well. Yeah, these Vandal Berserkers, looks like they've got a Pila too, so that's actually really good for tearing apart spear walls. Oh, nice. See you later. And just in behind too, another Frankish, or another Vandal loses its head, or sorry, Frankish soldier to the Vandal, I mean. Let's kind of zoom over here and see the Germanic pikes are trying to get into formation, but the noble Germanic swordsmen are actually putting up a good fight. So yeah, it looks like the pikes are pulling back here. You can see a lot of these spears are kind of very timid just because of the presence of this light Moorish cavalry, but this is keeping some valuable units out of the battle for us. And yeah, it looks like I'm just steamrolling through these lines here. Again, there's really not much he could have done except for kind of held his ground, because I really was able to catch a lot of these units unawares, so a lot of them weren't formed into shield wall. And I just obliterated his cavalry very quickly, just with sheer numbers, basically. You can see more of this Clibinari is starting to waver, which is too bad. The Eastern Roman Empire cavalry is very, very elite. Toe-to-toe, I think they would have destroyed my Mortimer cavalry, but yeah, we've got some kind of weird glitch going on here. I don't know if you guys can see how some of the units, it's almost like they're ghosts. They're like just all fogged out. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, if you see the battle map, you can obviously say that the Picts and the Vandals are probably going to win this engagement here. Let's go ahead and pop it onto play. It looks like we got another good charge from some more Berserkers into these Frankish lines. We've got the Pikes coming down as well. Got some nice grindy melee going on. Yeah, they're just pushing right through, right into the Germanic spearmen, who are kind of holding on the flanks. The Franks are desperately trying to fire with their Germanic archers. But yeah, the spears are broken just like that. And the Vandals are rushing forwards into the archers at this point, with their swords up in the air. And what else do we got over here? I think, well, you can see that the Frankish general is having a real tough time over here. He's starting to waver. He's probably going to be killed very soon. But they did manage to get some of the spears over here into this cavalry. And this is where the spears are going to be pretty effective, is starting to tear down the light Moorish cavalry. Unfortunately, though, they're just too outnumbered at this point. There's not really much else that they can do. Yeah, they are losing ground. See, he does have kind of a spear wall going on, which is good against this cavalry. But with the general being killed, and oh, a nice charge into the back by that light Moorish cavalry, effectively making them a sandwich in between these two units. And there we go, yep. End of the battle, just like that. So very, very quick, but that's the way that ambushes work. If you can catch one of the units or both of them off guard, it'll really pay off for you. And it's hard to deal with ambushes. I've definitely been in their situation before, so I don't fault them for that. James the Great was my ally, and I've got the two enemy names here, so if you guys are watching, thanks very much. But for my troops, you can really tell how those Scottish teachers really pull their weight, even as only an 80 woman unit, 256, 269, 264, 208. And then my Pictish axemen actually doing not too bad as well. Mortimer cavalry doing well. And then James the Great was a little late to the party just because he couldn't vanguard deploy, but a lot of his berserkers getting a ton of kills, and his cavalry doing well. For the Eastern Roman Empire, you can see that a lot of his Palatina did suffer. I think that was just because I caught them as they were trying to run behind the lines of the Eastern Auxilia. Even they didn't really fare too well. Archers didn't get many kills, and the Cav didn't get many kills. And for the Franks, also really low kills pretty much all around, except for this one unit of swords and the general. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this very quick battle. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content in the future. And I do have some subscribers battle replays coming soon. James the Great and Max Laser have sent me a ton of replays. If you guys are watching, I haven't forgot about you two. I've just been super busy lately, but I will get to them. But yeah, thanks very much again, and I will see you in the next one.